Hey, it's Adam Madison, and welcome to episode 11 of the Multiply Yourself podcast. Today, we're going to look at how you can manage time zone differences when working with your remote team. Welcome back to the Multiply Yourself podcast. As I said, in this episode, we're going to have a look at managing time zone differences. One of the questions that I always get asked, and I know it's something that a lot of people are talking about, is how do you manage working with remote staff members who are in different countries, different parts of the world, and therefore in different time zones? It's a great challenge, particularly for, let's say, people who are based in the United States but working with teams in the Philippines. There's a great time difference. I'm very fortunate working and living in Australia and having my team based in the Philippines that there is only a 2-hour time difference, or 3 hours during summer, but that's very manageable for my work and my team, and allows me to work almost at the same time as them through operating in business hours in both of our locations. And personally, that's how I achieve it. Working with my team in the Philippines, I ask them to work normal Filipino business hours, starting at either somewhere between 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. every day. I give them that flexibility. And that way, they're at the latest that they will start is about lunchtime Australia. And that works well for me. That gives me enough time to prepare in the morning, to work with them throughout the day. And we get to work in a live but virtual office environment because we're all working at the same time. But that's not always achievable depending on where you are based and where you are recruiting your team from. So I've come up with 4 ideas for how you can manage time zone differences and still have an effective remote team. Number 1, reporting. I know I'm a broken record when it comes to reporting and having your team members keep you up to date. But I truly believe that if you can create a healthy and great culture around reporting in your team, then it will overcome any differences that you have in working times. Now, for my team, the reporting structure that we use is quite simple, but it is tried and tested. Firstly, we use Basecamp as our collaboration system for communicating regarding tasks and projects. Secondly, each day I send out an allocation of tasks for that day and also a priority of the order that I wish to have them completed. And at the end of the day, my team send me back a daily report that tells me what they've completed, what's currently in progress, and any issues that they had, as well as their working times. And this simple little process is sufficient enough for my team to keep working effectively regardless of the times that I'm working with them. Now, most of the time I'm working live, but there are times when I might be on vacation or traveling or be at a course or have a full day of meetings that doesn't allow me to be accessible to them. But it's our reporting structure that allows our team to stay effective and efficient even when I'm not working live with them. Number 2 is a project management system. You've got to have a way of allocating tasks, communicating or chatting around that task, and a system that also allows an element of reporting. And as I mentioned, we use Basecamp for this, and it's absolutely brilliant. And if you do head over to adammadison.com, I've just put together a resource pack for getting started with an outsourced team that does include a training video on how you can set up Basecamp in just a few minutes and start working it with your team. But having a project management system allows everyone to know what's going on, to see the bigger picture of the project, to leave notes and messages about particular tasks, which means if you can't work in a live virtual environment with your team, you still have a system that helps to facilitate that communication and keep it all recorded there. Thirdly, find a brief window of time that works. You might be able to schedule in a time, maybe early in your morning or late at night, or vice versa for your team, that allows you to get a small window of time to catch up with them. It could be just for half an hour, just to debrief once a week or a couple of times a week, or maybe at the start or the end of a shift, using Skype or an instant messenger or something like that that just gives you a live interaction with your team member. It might be to report on what's happened that day or what you need them to do that day. But instead of it just being communication that's only via email and only static, find yourself a brief window of time that gives you that opportunity to touch base with them and have a live interaction. And number 4 is recruit for a particular shift. Now, I've noticed particularly with the Philippines that there's an acceptance to work the graveyard shift, to work midnight to 8 a.m. as just a normal practice in work. I've in recruiting a lot of people, I've seen that on resumes. I've had discussions where Filipino staff have been completely okay with the idea of working the graveyard shift if it better aligns with a time zone. So something that you can do is put it in your job application. Tell the times that you are looking to have somebody work for you. And if those times do work out to be overnight, then advertise it. Let your applicants know what you're looking for. I do the same. Fortunately for my team in the Philippines, I ask them to work business hours. But that hasn't always worked for them. Some of them have been college students and they're looking for late night work or something like that. But you can recruit for a particular shift. Just put those specifics in your job application when you're looking for someone, and you'll get the right applicant come along who's able to work at a time that matches you. So they're my 4 keys for how you can effectively work and overcome different time zones. Number 1, get a great reporting structure in place. 2, use a project management system, something that is cloud-based like Basecamp. 3, find a brief window of time that overlaps between your 2 time zones that allows you to have a live interaction. And number 4, you can always recruit for a particular shift. Find someone to work the graveyard shift so it matches with your day.
Thank you for listening. Subscribe for more content at www.adammadison.com.